Ballot retrieval for a risk-limiting audit. Once ballots are randomly selected and ballot retrieval lists are generated, the next step in the audit process is to retrieve the ballots. The audit software will ask you to specify how many audit boards you'll be using. The audit software will also tell you how many ballots you have to retrieve. Generally, it takes one team of 2 about an hour to pull 20 to 25 ballots. That number decreases when you are opening a lot of ballot containers. That takes more time. The more audit teams you have, the faster you can retrieve the ballots. When you tell the software how many teams you have, it divides the workload out evenly and puts together a neat list so that only one team needs to access a container. Arlo has all of the tools you need to manage the ballot retrieval process. In addition to the ballot retrieval list, system-generated placeholder sheets and labels can be printed. We recommend using bright colored paper and labels. The labels should be removable so not to damage the ballots. You also have the ability to see your audit board's data entry progress, which is especially handy for jurisdiction managers with large numbers of audit boards and ballots to retrieve. The primary way to retrieve a ballot for a ballot polling and ballot comparison risk-limiting audit is by counting. Yes, counting. Retrieving ballots for a risk-limiting audit is really as simple and straightforward as retrieving the correct ballot container and counting to the ballot randomly selected. Don't overthink it, but certainly use care and be methodical. The ballot retrieval list tells you which container you will find each ballot in. Each ballot retrieval list will show the container and the associated ballot number for each ballot that needs to be retrieved. Retrieve the correct container and perform any chain of custody verification steps that may be required. Then, open the container, pull the entire batch of ballots out of the storage container. They might be organized or they might be messy, that's okay. Simply manipulate them so you have a nice and mostly neat stack of ballots. Next, refer back to your retrieval list for the ballot number or numbers that you need. Start counting at 1 and stop counting when you get to the ballot number that you are retrieving. In the example on the screen, you'd count to ballot 90. Once you count to the ballot number on your retrieval list, pull the ballot out of the stack. Place a colored sheet of paper in the ballot's place to serve as a placeholder and stick a removable label onto the ballot. If the placeholder and label are not generated from Arlo, use blank stock and write the batch name and ballot number on each. Put the retrieved ballot to the side until all ballots have been retrieved. If more than one ballot is needed from the batch, keep counting until you have retrieved all of the ballots. Always double-check the batch name with the retrieval list to ensure it's the same container. Once the ballots have been retrieved from a container, re-secure the container, keeping the ballots selected out, and complete any chain of custody documentation required.